Like we said last year, or earlier this year, rather, culture will speak. And notice as Kanye used the term Chirac, and maybe a lot of these listeners don't understand what that means, but that's about culture, that's about Mingos, that's about rap. Culture will speak, and culture did speak. And there was a lot of things behind the scenes that were occurring at the White House that I was very proud to see, that I had a lot to do with, that a lot of people I knew had a lot to do with, and we're very proud of it. We're very happy about it. What we're not happy about is the attack on Elon Musk. What we're not happy about is the attack on Alex Jones. It's an absolute disgrace in this country. It will be addressed, and quite frankly, what it might be.
Well, I was told separately by the CIA and the Pentagon, in person and over the phone, that Trump said, "Don't worry, they're gonna pay."
Well, there's no don't worry. I think what it's doing is exposing sort of an error in the system of corporatism, an error in the sort of system of economic advertising, meaning we can make our own revenue. We could generate our own bandwidth. We could have our own reach. We don't need them. We don't.
No, I agree, but let's get to Nikki Haley, because that's what's really important. I was told, not just by you, but others, that she's the mole, and that Trump let her go in a nice way, but that she was, and you did say that last year first.
There's a clip. I got the clip saved on the. Listen. I got it on the hard drive. I told you, Haley. I told you about Haley last year. She's a snake in the grass. She's a Ewing creature. And it's not going to be Hillary. Hillary will be there in essence. She'll be there to promote. She'll be on the podium. But it's going to be Michelle O.P., Nikki Haley running as vice. And that's what they're going to try to run.
Okay, well, I was told by some really high-level people that is in the works, exactly. In fact, Roger Stone said that on air a year ago, that she's the snake in the grass and that she's going to run, and that's what the left loves her. And that is in the cards, but and there's about Condoleezza Rice running as a Republican, or maybe even a Pence in there with Trump. I mean, who knows? But high-level folks that have been in the meetings, unless they're putting out disinfo to fool the guys that are in the meetings, they're saying Hillary won't step down, refuses to, and that Michelle O is going to be VP.
No, they won't let her do it because of what's been revealed about Bernie. What's been revealed about Bernie, and I implore individuals. First of all, I've had some conversations out there in those hills out there in Calabasas with Joe Rogan about having you back on. But when he had Roseanne Barr on, and I implore people to listen to that, a lot of things were revealed. And what was done to Bernie Sanders, the true DNC members who happen to be actual Democrats, who happen to be progressives, like they're actually progressives, they actually believe it, they're not happy about what occurred. And
well, he publicly won the nomination, and they stole it.
Publicly won it, and they're not going to let her do a damn thing. And here's the big point. Oh my God, we could talk for hours, but here's the big point. Here's the big point. We have Kanye and Jim Brown, two of the most iconic African-American individuals in the Oval Office, talking to the President of the United States of America. Here's my question. Where's the response from Barack Hussein? Where are you at? Oh, we know where you're at.
Can you believe they're calling Kanye all these racist names, a minstrel, dumb Negro? I mean, I'm just outraged. It's sick to watch real racism and saying, oh, that's a dumb black man. He doesn't know anything. He's mentally ill. And this is crazy.
It's smarter because the Q community and this whole phenomenon, this whole problem, which is a farce, and it really ran out of control. But they were calling for tribunals early and this and this and this. You can't do that early because it causes chaos. You need to do it gradually. And what you're seeing is a gradual dismantling of the Democratic Party and a corrupt nature of the United States government that has been alive since about the 40s. And it's being done brilliantly. And what occurred in the Oval Office with Kanye West and Jim Brown was spectacular, was very important, was a critical part. The event that I'm putting together, the event that will shock the world, the event that will cause headlines for weeks, will also do that. And the type of stuff that we saw in the Oval Office will continue because the dialogue needs to continue. We are Americans. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what you think happened. I don't care there's never been a better model, ever, anywhere. So
I know I got loaded phone lines, but I'm going to get to everybody. But to do a few more minutes, Zach, because I wish you'd have called in on Skype. And then we were going to talk it, too, briefly. And then I've got a big special report coming up, and I'll talk to you after that. But And what he's saying is going on behind the scenes. And I trust that because he usually holds pretty close to the vest. So I got to talk to you during the break if we can patch him through. I want to find out why in the world he's saying this on air. Because in my experience, that's not, well, we're going to find out what's going on. We'll be right back.
So now, we got Matt Bracken. He's a former Navy SEAL. This is a man who's been in war zone environments. He can tell you what to do. So I want to roll this video, just a little bit of audio. And Matt, if you could just comment over what this guy does right and what he does wrong and what you should do if you're confronted with this situation. All right, guys, let's roll the video. Go ahead, Matt.
First, I would never second guess the guy because it's easy to say, well, don't be there, you know. See this mob 3 blocks back and make a U-turn. But let's just say it starts with where he is. Stopping to get out of the car, don't do it. That could have been a fatal thing right there because if a big guy body checks the door, you just broke your ankle or shin. Now you can't even drive. So right there, that's a big mistake. But I mean, I'm not going to second guess. The guy looks like a brave old stud. Guy probably turns out to be, you know, a Vietnam-era war hero. And he just doesn't back down to mobs. You know, he sees communists, he wants to fight. I can appreciate that. But a few tactics that you can use is, first of all, if you have the choice, get a car with a little bit higher suspension. You know, going from like a 5-inch ground clearance to a 8 or 10-inch ground clearance means you're going to drive over people and not get stuck. It's gross, but it's true. And once you get a little bit of clear space ahead of you, if you gun it like he did, this is good. Gunning it and stopping, gunning it and stopping it, and also weaving. Making the car go like lurching side to side makes people afraid to run right up to the sides because you've just been doing like S-turns down the street. But once you've cleared the zone, you know, you're going to, if you've had people thumping on you, get a few blocks away, just like it was a shooting and you were the good guy, you want to be the first to call 911. If somebody takes your picture and you assume it's going to happen, if the police come to your house, it's a hit and run. If you get 3 blocks away and you call 911 and describe the scene, just like a good shooting, it puts you way ahead of the game legally. And then what you need to do once you're talking to the police, I was in fear for my life. What's today? I was in fear for my life. You know, what did you have for breakfast? I was in fear for my life. You repeat that until you're lawyered up. And then you shut up and let the lawyer talk. But what you have to stick with, just like a shooting, I was in fear for my life. Even if you drove over people, you stick with that. So don't flee the scene, park a few blocks away in safety, call 911, explain the situation. Then you're the good guy because you called it in. And you explained that you were in a life or death situation. They were pounding on your car, breaking windows. You thought they would kill you. That's a reasonable assertion. And in Portland, it might not fly, but it's better than fleeing the scene, then getting arrested as a hit and run later, because they will have your license.
Yeah, that totally makes sense, everything you said. And I like the weaving and just going away a few blocks. And I will make this point. When this story came out, they said no one had called the cops on either side at that time. So the news had already figured out that nobody had called the cops. That guy, I totally agree. Call the cops, get it on record that you were the first one to call. Therefore, you have something at least to fall back on. I totally agree.
Right, and you're the good citizen, and you're an older guy. You were afraid for your life. If a mob of 20-somethings is attacking a white-haired old guy in his 70s, then just as if, even if they don't have a knife or a gun, one of those guys had an asp baton, you would be within your rights to drive over those guys. Because 5 or 6 guys in their 20s can put you to the ground. Once you're on the ground, it's skull stomping time, and that is a fatal attack. You know, either going to be brain damaged, disfigured, or dead. So you cannot go to the ground in a mob. Don't get out of the car. Use the car for the weapon, but then don't do a hit and run and try to get away. Assume the police will get your license. So be the first to call 911 and be the good guy.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.